All right, so in this one, we're going to create a test user and then have them walk through the actual process of the entire matching and doing everything that they would do as if they were a brand new user. Now, one thing that I do want to check out is very first is checking out in our matching algorithm to see if there's any errors that could possibly happen whatsoever. So if we look into our utils and we go through the entire match algorithm, something that we notice is down here we divide numbers based on total points and we set them as 0, so there's a possibility that these total points could be less than 0. So what I'm going to do here is put 0.0001 and just set them equal to this right off the bat. Because if they're equal to actual 0, then we're going to be dividing them by actual 0 later, and that's a problem. You can't divide 0 by 0. That's a big problem in far as math is concerned. So cool, now that we've got that out of the way, let's go ahead and make this new user. So we have our project running. I'm going to go in here and I'll say ABC test 123. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to set the password of 123 just so it's nice and easy for us to work with. I'm going to log out of my main user here and paste in ABC test 123 and then password of ABC 123. Cool, so I'm going to go ahead and answer some questions here. Hit save and continue. And it doesn't really matter how many questions we answer. And then I'm going to go to the home page. And it's still showing me questions as should be expected. But at this point, it should actually show me matches, but it's not doing that. So let's go ahead and take a look at our dashboard view. So inside of dashboard views, we're going to look in here. And this block right here is what's concerned, the new user block. Now what we have here is if the length of mutual likes is equal to 0 or the length of matches is equal to 0, then we'll say new user equals to true. Instead, what I want to do here is say and. It's going to be one or the other, or it's going to have to be both of those conditions for that user to actually be new. Because mutual likes, you might not have any mutual likes ever as a user, right? So that user, let's just think about that, is they might not ever be liked by anybody else, so they're not technically a new user anymore, but they don't have mutual likes. So let's change that to an and now if we refresh in here, we now see these matches actually coming up, and they give us some sort of percentage on each one. Now, it's not a great percentage, but it is a percentage. So if I add more, hit save and continue, go back to the home page, now those change just slightly a little bit more, right? And I have stronger matches with other people and so on and so forth. I am noticing that I'm not getting suggested positions or any of my suggestions at all. So let's go back into that receiver function inside of our models. And this is update matches. That's the receiver function that we actually want to work with. But it's going to be the position match manager. So it's really simple. We're just going to update top suggestions. And I'll do position match.objects.update top suggestions. And of course, it's taking in the same user that's being passed and then some number that I want to work with here. And I'll just say the top 20 suggestions. So every time they actually run and save this, is going to update the top 20 suggestions based off of the top 20 matches, which is pretty nice for us. And I'm going to put that second because I want to make sure that I'm updating the matches for the user and then going through the get matches function specifically there. Okay, cool. So now that we've got this, let's go back into our project and I'll say just add another question or answer another question. And now right off the bat, I already have suggestions that I can actually answer going forward from here. And notice I do not have mutual likes. Of course, if I go through and like a mutual person and then log out like as that person and look for ABC testing, like that person now, we are now connected. We refresh. I have mutual interest here all across with 5 people. And if I start into ABC test 123 and log in, now I have mutual interest there. Cool. So now that we've got all this stuff, there is one other thing that we might want to do, and that is actually doing our profile stuff. So actually, adding some different our picture maybe, and then also adding in our jobs or different jobs that we may have had, so we can actually have our profile show up. And then we might actually want to add a link of showing our profile. So those are the things that we'll do next. That's pretty much it for the MatchMaker project. As far as where we're going to go with this. Now, there's a lot of things that you could do, which we'll talk about, but we want to just finish off those last few things and then talk about what you could do next. All right, so if you have any questions on what we did here, let us know. Otherwise, let's keep going.